Okay, so let me try to finish that story, right? So my neighbor's being occult pedos and being obviously about it in public, and I don't want to get into what the occult and pedos and what makes them harder to catch and what that all has to, we'll do that in another video. I gotta tell this story first, right? So they were making it really hard for me. So much so that I had to start doing what they taught me to do when I was a kid in order to get dirt on these people that make it to where they couldn't slip their way out of it. I just remember I have a weird memory that's like a photographic memory, but not. It's basically like getting a Miata instead of a Porsche. But dude, it's a Miata, right? So anyway, so I'm going to stay in this hotel room because it's getting so bad, right? And one of the things that's going on is this kid here who hangs out with the teenager, right? In J101, right? Whenever he comes over, he'll have that teenager just fucking harass me. They'll throw stuff at my door. They'll call me names. They'll hit the wall. They'll scream stuff at me. They're just nasty, right? And where that all started was one of the first week I move in, I'm walking by, and I hear some dude say, I didn't know that they made gay homies. And I'm like, huh? And I look over and I see an underage girl and a dude intertwined on the couch, partially covered. After all the noises I'm hearing earlier, I know there definitely was some butt stuff and the dude was on the receiving end, right? So I already know that straight people don't do that, dude. I don't care what you say, straight people don't do that. Anyway, so that kid's bugging me all the time, right? And like using these things called cell snoopers. Now I was trained because I used to work for the cell company, the way that they work and what they are. But the weird thing about America is you're like basically not allowed to know that they got new versions of these. They put them right on your smartphone, and you basically can just spy on all your neighbors all day long, no matter what machinery they got to stop you. And the cops know about it. That's where they got it. And that's part of the story I really want to tell. Because they don't know yet how I can tell when they're using it. And man, that secret is so disgusting and so horrible that if you don't agree with me that we should just dissolve them. I'm not talking about the Coeur d'Alene police. I'm talking about the ones of the reason I found out. And I mean, I don't mean just the police, all of them. Anything to do with them. Boom, gone. Anyway. That was so horrible, and when I make another video about it, you're gonna understand. So anyway, they're harassing me and making it obvious that they know what's going up on my phone. And where you get these, if you're not related to a cop, is they go onto child porn websites, and they download them, and they call it snooping. And then they snoop on you, they stalk you, then they know all your favorite things, and then they basically take over your fucking life, rape your fucking kids, and then hurt you, just zap your everything goes wrong because of them. And then when you catch them and you call the police, they bail and they terrorize you for the rest of your fucking life, and the cops never do anything about it. So why this was so interesting is he was using this snooper to fuck my life up, throwing stuff at my door, and you don't even live here, right? So then I escaped to this hotel, right? I'm staying in there, and suddenly, boom, I'm starting to get cell scanner activity again, and I know this particular one well because it's been on me for quite a while, right? And I go to leave my hotel room, and I see this fucking cop out of uniform carrying one of our cases, right? USA, right? And he's with, I should tell this part of the story first. Since they were using a cell scanner, I was like downloading porn and just playing porn, and I just go fucking do something else and play video games on one of my other phones. I mean, and come on, I don't know what kind of dude you are, but that's not something I do, right? I don't watch porn for 4 fucking hours until they get bored to leave me alone. But either way, they were like cataloging it and seeing the girl. It was just random shit. If anything, I was trying to mess with him for a bit by doing stuff like fat girls. But here's the thing, right? So I check in this hotel, and yeah, I've been celibate for months, so you know, just to get that. Believe me, if you ever get around pedophiles and they're harassing you, practice celibacy. Trust me. Sex is their weapon. You want nothing to do with it. Not when they're around. Find somewhere else to be. If you love your girl, don't let them around you. So anyway, I come out the hotel room to check out this breakfast, and for a cheap hotel, it's such a bomb breakfast, right? And I'm so happy because the cop with the case and the boy that's been harassing me, now dressed in a girl in the same costume that one of those 3 videos had as a maid. The exact same kind of maid outfit, exact same kind of colors. Then when I go to get that breakfast, happy that he went the other way, he puts himself in the path while they're both mean mugging me, turns his feet in and tries to give me a cue. I just go the other fucking direction. And now they're trying to move that boy into the same apartment with 2 guardian parents, right? Dressing him up as a girl and saying it's a different person with a different name. Because now they're made new. It doesn't matter that this kid's been sexually stalking me for months in their mind and terrorizing me and ruining my life because he's in the occult and I'm a Christian. And to him that, I'm another video. Anyway, so I book it. Now they're trying to move him in next to me, saying that because he's a girl, he's a different person. All while he's working in the same fucking program, from the looks of it, since he was with that cop, that they trafficked me in when I was a kid because I wouldn't join. That's where this story all starts. I got the highest score in the standardized testing and they've never let me live it down. So parents, trust me, I'm gonna get into these stories and I'm gonna teach you how to defend yourself and your kids. I'm gonna show you why I was the one that survived and others didn't. I'm gonna tell you the stories, I'm gonna tell you how it happened, how it works, how the ways that people need to feel and think in order to do this, or not, or survive. But right now, the reason I'm having to tell you this story is because if I don't, this cult's about ready to kill me again. And as you know from the short that I made, the first day I was here, they were committing felony level crime against me, threatening me to be quiet about it, and then loudly voicing their plans for how they might harm me. And all I did was collect my keys, walk in the door with my sister, lock it, and sit down. And within 2 hours of moving to an entire new state, my life was already over again because of one pedophile. That is how dangerous and how destructive they are. That is the point of this video series I want to make. Eventually, I want to teach you what I discovered and how I figured them out. And I can actually spot one without going crazy like, the professionals do. Using a system that doesn't drive you crazy to use. See, they're trying to empathize and understand a pedophile, and you can't. You can't. You can't understand disease. That's not how things work. That's why it's a disease. But what you can do is learn my system, and they'll tell on themselves every single time. They will tell on themselves, using the system, they'll tell on themselves 100 times before they perpetrate. Every time. Because it catalogs how they think, what they do, how they perpetrate. And so I would like to tell my story about how I got here, teach y'all the survival skills, and basically what I learned from it in order to be able to spot these guys even before I even remember that I already know them, just by their behavior. They're different than other people, and there are 7 traits that pin them every time. 23 that they almost all have. And if they have enough of those 2 things, those 2 groups, you can guarantee you can convict them on that alone if you're smart enough. Because they'll tell you where they put everything. And then there's 24. And the 24 traits are those that the victims share with the pedophile. And why that's important to know is because several of these traits, not exactly 7 like the other, but several of these traits actually work to show you how the victim actually assists the pedophile in perpetrating. It also shows you that this whole weird Republican versus Democrat, rapist versus pedophile thing, it's really the same thing. You put a rapist in a house, right? After they get done raping the adults, they'll go for the kids, they'll pimp them out, they'll make money. You put a pedophile in that house, they'll fuck the mother good until she goes to sleep, then they'll rape the kids, then they'll rape and intimidate the mother, and then they'll traffic the kids. So the only difference is the order in which they go about exploiting young people. But the answer always ends up the same. They exploit everyone around them weaker than them. They can get away with doing it too. So we say rapist, we say pedophile, we say sex offender, and these are all words meant to confuse the situation. That what we are talking about is zeeable. They are zeeable. They are people who can be talked into doing horrible shit to another person. And it's weird that they all got that in common. And from that, I brought out these characteristics. And now if you learn them, you will look back into your own life and see people who already told you that you didn't even know. You didn't even know they were telling you the entire time.